Hello and welcome to Witness. I'm Raggy Omar. Since Castro's revolution 6 decades ago, Cuba has been on the front line of an international power struggle. Crippled by a punitive trade embargo imposed by the United States in 1962, this Caribbean island was supported by the USSR. But when the Soviet Union collapsed in the early 1990s, economic aid dried up. Since then, it's been hard for this outpost of communism to keep its people fed and watered. Life in today's Cuba is tough. One thing that has helped sustain Cubans over the years is their love of music, and the Russians helped establish a music education system which continues to this day, but not without some difficulty. The US trade embargo, coupled with a hot and humid climate, spells disaster for musical instruments, especially the piano, many of which are slowly dying. It's a serious problem that one visitor took to heart. Elizabeth Jones's film, 88 Keys in Cuba, is about how Irishman Kieran Ryan was inspired to come to the rescue of the island's pianos with money raised by the music community back home.
A quarter-century of trade embargoes and travel restrictions has taken a toll on Cuba. No aspect of life here can escape the isolation, not even the piano. Cubans love their pianos, there's no shortage of them, but very few of them actually work.
Esa es la nueva que pusieron. Esa fue la...
3,000 miles away in Ireland lives a man who can help. Kieran Ryan is a piano tuner and restorer. He has been to Cuba and has seen the need.
In the back of the van, there's the piano that we'll use in Vicar Street and that we'll use in the black box. It's the Steinway Concert Grand.
He has brought together the Irish music community for 2 fundraising concerts in aid of the Cuban piano.
Production-wise, everything's in order. PA's ready to go in.
With €30,000 in his pocket, Kieran sets off for Havana. The question for Kieran is, how best to spend the money? His first port of call is the Escuela Nacional de Arte, one of 50 schools across the country that offers young people a music-based education. Within the walls of this school, there's a fledgling piano tuning and restoration course, the only one in the country.
Aina is on the site of the old Havana Golf and Country Club, as it was before the revolution.
All around us, all day, there are people rehearsing and practicing and putting music together. They're sitting outside the windows doing their thing. You turn your head in a different direction and you hear a different instrument. I find it really inspiring to be working on musical instruments in this sort of environment. I love it. There's half a dozen of us working together at the stage. A couple of the guys I'd worked with last year, and it's really good to see them again. And Armando, who has done his year in Canada and is back running the whole workshop here. We've got these 2 pianos to work on, a big Russian concert grand and a smaller American 6.5-foot grand. We're going to restring them and rebuild the actions and get them as good as they can be got. We've got 3 weeks. And I think we'll get an awful lot done in that time.
The piano has a special place in Cuban music. Chucho Valdés is one of Cuba's greatest jazz pianists and composers. and is passionate about the versatility of the instrument.
La música cubana es música que tiene mucho ritmo, por su raíz y su tradición africana y española. El piano suena cuando el martillo percute sobre las cuerdas. Entonces el piano, lo mismo que es un instrumento melódico y armónico, yo en mi caso lo pienso también como un instrumento rítmico.
Un piano es para toda la expresión artística. Usted pone un piano en una casa y la casa es más bella a partir de ese día. La casa es mejor. El arte purifica a los seres humanos. Y donde quiera que haya un piano es un anzuelo grandísimo para que se haga arte en esa casa.
Ana Gabriela is a graduate of ENA. She knows all too well the problems students face at the school.
O sea, había muchas aulas, pero los pianos estaban en muy malas condiciones. Falta de afinadores y de cuerdas, o sea, los instrumentos que hacen falta para arreglar un piano. Es eso, o sea, que no había casi piano y hay alumnos becados ahí que no tenían dónde estudiar. Que les era muy difícil conseguir un piano para poder estudiar las obras que tenían que interpretar.
Kieran has enlisted the help of others for this mission, including top Irish piano tuner Paul Wade.
I suppose the end of the work that I do in general at home is very fine-end work, and I'm dealing usually with pianos that have relatively little, they have problems, but the problems we're looking for me, are looking from a piano that's probably at 98% and trying to find the 2% extra every single day. This is like going into, some of these pianos have hand grenades thrown into them, and so we're coming from that stage. I've just been called in by a teacher to have a look at her piano she's teaching on, and there's 4, 5, 6 strings broken, and we're just going to have a quick look and see can we quickly replace them for her. Oh la la. Every string, these are supposed to be bright steel colours, and these are all orange. If you run your hands, you get orange all over your fingers with the dust. And these ones up here from
14 and a half, 15.
And 15 are gone. Their gauge music is gone. So she's asking if we can fix it to make her lessons comfortable. Maybe they all probably should be replaced, but for the moment we just do this.
Yes.
Yeah.
I really appreciate that.
La la la.
I really appreciate that very much.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Fix that.
Thanks very much.
The piano is not an instrument that takes naturally to the Cuban climate.
Claro, estamos en una isla y hay mucha humedad, hay un nivel altísimo de humedad.
Aquí tenemos el terrible problema del salitre. Los peores enemigos de los pianos son la humedad y el salitre. Y en Cuba hay casi 95% de humedad en el aire. Somos pescados. Respiramos casi agua. Y el salitre, que es terriblemente difícil.
Pero se han fabricado pianos que están tropicalizados, Por ejemplo, este es un piano que está tropicalizado. Este lo hizo Steinway & Sons en 1955. Lo fabricaron especialmente para el clima del Caribe y las cuerdas las reforzaron. Hicieron una serie de cosas, ¿no?, dentro de este piano, para la humedad, para el comején. El comején es un bichito que se come la madera.
The termite infestation on this piano was so bad it had to have a leg amputated to save the rest of the frame.
You can see some original just here and down the side and here at the back. But all under here is all being eaten away by termites.
Problems caused by climate and termites wouldn't be so disastrous if politics didn't enter into it.
Very shortly after the revolution, the United States government put a trade and travel blockade on Cuba, which means it's illegal for American businesses and individuals to travel to Cuba, to conduct business with Cuba. By and large, it's something that the American government is very strong on.
The embargo makes it almost impossible to acquire replacement piano parts.
The Kimball we're working on, we've run into a small problem in that the tuning pins that we've got have turned out to be a bit small, so there's no point using them. The tuning pins have got to be rock solid to give tuning stability. So I'm texting Alex, who's coming over next week, to bring a set of slightly larger tuning pins, which is problem solved, grand. And if we have people flying backwards and forwards from Ireland to Cuba every week, you know, you could keep the supply lines really open and things would be fine. But we're sort of, I don't know, it feels a little bit like we're cheating, being able to get stuff from a piano supply house at the drop of a hat.
Yo pienso que el embargo nos ha perjudicado mucho, sobre todo que tenemos que recurrir, por ejemplo, a Alemania, cuando tenemos aquí a 25 minutos Miami o Nueva York, que estaría a 2 horas, supongo. Eso ha dificultado mucho.
Join me after the break to find how Kieran Ryan resolves the problem of where best to spend his €30,000.